Some things are not just old, they're vessels for tragedy and death. We're about to explore the dark history of 5 items so cursed, they've left a trail of ruin in their wake. Prepare yourself. These are 5 cursed items you'll regret owning. History is filled with objects that carry more than just memories and stories. They sometimes carry whispers of misfortune, echoes of tragedy, and a presence that feels wrong. These aren't just things, they're focal points for dark energy, absorbing the pain and violence of their past until they become something else entirely, until they become cursed. From a simple wooden chair to one of the most famous diamonds in the world, the stories of these items are a chilling warning. Today, we're counting down 5 of the most cursed objects known to exist. We'll uncover their dark origins, recount the tragedies of those who possess them, and find out where these harbingers of doom are now. Kicking things off at number 5 isn't some grand ornate throne, but a humble brick bench in a quiet cemetery. You can find it in the Lake Helen Casadaga Cemetery in Florida, but locals know it by a much more sinister name, the Devil's Chair. The town of Casadaga is famous for being a community of psychics and spiritualists, a place where the veil between worlds is said to be unusually thin. So, it's maybe no surprise that a powerful legend would take root here. The bench was originally built in the 1920s as a mourning bench, a place for visitors to rest and reflect. But over time, its original innocent purpose was forgotten, and a much darker folklore started to grow around it. The legends are simple, but they're seriously chilling. One popular tale claims that if you leave an unopened can of beer on the chair overnight, you'll come back in the morning to find the can empty, but still sealed. The most famous legend, though, is much more direct. If you dare to sit in the chair, especially at midnight, the devil himself might just show up. They say he'll whisper temptations in your ear, offering you a deal for your soul. While the chair draws in paranormal investigators and thrill seekers, a local reverend once offered a more down-to-earth explanation for the beer trick. He recalled that as a teenager, he and his friends would sneak into the cemetery to drink the offerings left behind. The cemetery now closes at dusk, but the legend persists. Whether it's a demonic hotline or just the product of small-town folklore, the Devil's Chair is still a place where people go looking for a conversation they might not be prepared to have. Our 4th entry isn't an ancient relic, but a piece of modern art that became one of the internet's first viral horror stories. It's a painting called The Hands Resist Him, created by artist Bill Stoneham in 1972. The image is deeply unsettling. A young boy stands next to a doll with hollow eyes. Behind them, pressed against a glass door, dozens of disembodied hands reach out from the darkness. Stoneham has explained the painting is personal, based on a photo of himself at age 5. The door is the barrier between the waking world and the world of dreams, and the doll is his guide. The hands? They represent alternate lives. But whatever he intended, the public saw something far more sinister. The painting was first bought by the actor John Marley, you know, the guy who wakes up with a horse's head in The Godfather. After he owned it, the story gets murky. Part of the painting's growing legend is that both the gallery owner who first displayed it and the art critic who reviewed it died within a year of seeing it. After Marley's death, the painting disappeared, only to be found years later abandoned behind an old brewery. Then, in February 2000, it popped up on eBay with a terrifying description. The sellers claimed it was cursed. They swore the figures in the painting moved at night, sometimes leaving the canvas entirely. People viewing the auction online reported feeling sick or overwhelmed with dread just from looking at the pictures. The listing went viral, and it became forever known as the eBay haunted painting. The painting was sold to a gallery in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Stoneham, surprised by the whole thing, has since created sequels to the original. But the first painting's legacy proves that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones staring back at us from a canvas. At number 3, we have a piece of furniture so deadly it has to be kept hanging from a museum ceiling so no one can ever sit in it again. This is the Bugsby Stoop chair. Its story starts in 1702 in North Yorkshire, England, with a man named Thomas Bugsby, a local criminal. The argument that started it all was, supposedly, over the chair itself. Bugsby came home one night to find his father-in-law, Daniel Audie, a man he already hated, sitting in his favorite pub chair. Enraged, Bugsby murdered him. He was quickly arrested, tried, and sentenced to hang. For his last request, he asked for a final drink in his beloved chair. As he was led to his execution, he pointed to the seat and yelled a curse. "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit on my chair." For decades, the chair stayed at the local pub, and the curse seemed like an empty threat. But then, people started dying. The stories and local legends are wild. A chimney sweep who sat in it fell from a roof to his death. During World War II, Canadian airmen from a nearby base dared each other to sit in it. The ones who did, it's said, never returned from their missions. The list grew. A roofer sat down and fell through a roof the next day. A delivery man took a break in it and died in a car crash that same evening. The landlord, terrified by the mounting stories and a legendary body count some say is as high as 63, finally moved the chair to the basement. But even there, it supposedly claimed another victim. In 1978, the owner had enough and gave the chair to the Thirsk Museum. Today, it hangs 5 feet in the air, a grim reminder of a murderer's grudge, ensuring no one ever falls victim to the curse of the Bugsby Stoop chair again. These stories are a chilling reminder that some objects are best left alone. If you're finding this journey into the paranormal as fascinating as we are, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us keep exploring these dark and mysterious corners of the world. Now, let's get back to the countdown. Our runner-up is a toy that's become a modern horror icon, thanks to a massive film franchise. But the real story of Anabelle the doll is arguably even creepier. And she doesn't look like the porcelain nightmare from the movies. The real Anabelle is an ordinary, large, Raggedy Ann doll. The story starts in 1970, when a mother bought the doll for her daughter, Donna, a 28-year-old nursing student. Donna and her roommate, Angie, soon noticed the doll seemed to move. They'd leave it on the couch and come back to find it in another room, or sitting with its legs crossed. Then they started finding handwritten notes on parchment paper that just said, "Help us." Freaked out, the nurses called a psychic medium. The medium told them the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a 7-year-old girl named Anabelle Higgins, who had died on the property. The spirit said she felt safe with the girls and just wanted to be loved. As nurses, they felt compassion and gave the spirit permission to stay in the doll. That was a huge mistake. Their friend Lou, who hated the doll from the start, claimed it attacked him in his sleep. He woke up with what looked like claw marks slashed across his chest. Realizing they were in over their heads, the nurses contacted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens came to a horrifying conclusion. There was no ghost of a little girl. It was a demonic entity that had tricked them, manipulating the doll with the ultimate goal of possessing one of them. The Warrens took the doll. They claimed on the drive home, its influence caused their car's brakes to fail repeatedly, and Ed had to sprinkle it with holy water to make it back. They built a specially consecrated glass case for Anabelle in their occult museum, where she remains to this day. Though the museum is currently closed, the doll is still locked away. A harmless-looking toy housing a deeply malevolent force. And now, for the most famous cursed object in the world. Weighing in at a stunning 45.52 carats, this flawless deep blue diamond isn't just one of the most beautiful gems on Earth, it's also the most notorious. This is the Hope Diamond. The legend of its curse is a wild one. The popular story goes that the original, much larger stone was stolen from the eye of a statue of the Hindu goddess Sita by a French merchant named Jean-Baptiste Tavernier. As punishment, the priests cursed anyone who ever possessed it. While historical records show Tavernier likely died peacefully of old age, the legend insists he was later mauled to death by wild dogs. Tavernier sold the gem to King Louis XIV of France, where it became known as the French Blue. Misfortune seemed to follow. Louis XIV died of gangrene, and his successors, Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, were famously beheaded during the French Revolution. The diamond resurfaced in London in the 1800s, recut and eventually acquired by Henry Philip Hope, where it got its modern name. The Hope family was soon plagued by financial ruin. But the curse's most famous victim was American socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean. When she bought it in 1912, the jeweler, Pierre Cartier, actually embellished the curse's dark history to convince her to buy it. She believed unlucky items brought her good luck. She was tragically wrong. Her young son died in a car crash, her daughter died of an overdose, her husband left her for another woman, and she died deep in debt. After her death, the diamond was bought by jeweler Harry Winston. In a move that seems almost comically casual, he donated it to the Smithsonian in 1958 by sending it through registered mail. It's remained there ever since. It seems that once it became a public treasure, its long trail of tragedy finally came to an end. From a simple chair to a priceless gem, these objects show that a dark history can leave a permanent stain. They're a powerful reminder that some things carry the weight of their past, and for anyone who dares get too close, that weight can be deadly. So what do you think? Are these objects truly cursed? Or are they just magnets for tragedy, with stories that grow more twisted over time? Let us know which of these objects you find the most terrifying in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on this trip into the world of the cursed. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious.